what's going on? Is Ash here coming at you today in Raid Shadow Legends. I am joined by a content creator who was actually one of the first dudes I watched in Raid Shadow Legends. Big fan, Murder Inc. What's up, Murder? How you doing,
Yo,
man?
what's up, Ash? Thank you for having me on here. This is awesome. This is my first collab I've ever done, so I'm honored to have it with you.
Bro, I can't believe it's your first collab ever, man. That's insane. I feel like all you raid creators collab every day, I feel like. But the honor is all mine, dude. I love your content. If you guys aren't subscribed to Murder Inc., definitely check it out because you just are a student of the game. And I think that's a very fair thing to say because you really take deep dives. That's why you're the perfect guest today. We're going to talk about all the most popular champions in the game, seemingly. The enemy max HP and the turn meter champions. We're talking Armiger. We're talking Coldheart. We're talking Septimus, Royal Guard, etc. Are they good anymore? And if not, or if so, what is the meta going to be like? What is the strategy going to be like for the new bosses stage 21 to 25? Try to get this video out as soon as possible because it just strikes me that it could be actually dropping like, in a few hours. Who knows?
I know.
First off, man, are you like a big fan of like GFUEL and NERF Gotti?
Yo, so funny story. My name is actually made after the movie Fury. There was a tank in the movie Fury with Brad Pitt, and it was called Murder Inc. And I was like, you know what? That's a really cool name.
How about
that? Everyone's always been saying, yo, Ja Rule, what's up? I mean, I love Ja. No doubt about it.
There you
still,
go.
There's the origin for it. I think the first time it's been said on YouTube. You get it here, Ash.
Unbelievable, man. Breaking news. I love it. All right, so we just did our spider run. I got a Royal Guard, a Coldheart, and a Coldheart, man. Is this team going to be viable? Tell me, Murder Inc. Tell me, man. Is this team going to be viable now? Let's talk about enemy max HP before we get into turn meter here. Because enemy max HP, we know that will be mitigated to 10% of the max HP of the boss now. Turn meter, we think, if it's like Doom Tower, it will be reduced by 50% turn meter effects. So talk to me, man. Like, do you think these champions will be, good anymore? Will they be used?
Okay, listen, if someone can figure out a team to make these champions use their enemy max health abilities 10 times before the spider goes once, message me on Discord. Just message me. Let's talk. Let's collab. I'm all for it. However, realistically, I think outside of having them in a supporting role, I'm not really sure how much damage champions are going to do. I think raw damage dealers are really going to pop here, and I don't think it's going to be tuned too much like the Doom Tower, where it's still worth bringing some enemy max HP champions because 10% can be a lot for some players. I don't think that's going to be the case for stage 25, and in my opinion, I know some people aren't going to like this, but I do believe that this is going to be overall better for the game because right now, if you don't have a Coldheart, Septimus, Royal Guard, it feels really bad. Your time difference between your runs and everyone else, I mean, I can do it in 7 seconds. I can do it in 8 seconds. If you're just hitting stage 20 and farming it, you're doing it in 2 minutes. Think of the difference there. Massive. Now stage 25 comes along. Let's say I'm doing it in a minute and you're doing it in 3 minutes. That's only what, 1 to a 3 ratio there. That's much more realistic. It'll definitely even things out, and it lets us use all of the cool champions we have at our disposal, and we're not really anchored down by Coldheart meta, Seer, Septimus, Royal Guard. We're just not anchored down. It doesn't feel as bad for not having them. But if you're using them now, I can definitely see where maybe this wasn't the right way to approach it. I definitely don't think they should have nerfed the champions, so they were in a hard spot. What could they have really done to do this better? I mean, I guess they could have just not added it and seen who has the gear to one-shot the bosses, but still.
Yeah, like that's my. First of all, I applaud you for that take because it's, it's easy just to hate on it, and it's always easy to like hate on the player decisions. But
and it feels better to do that too.
It does feel better, but at the end of the day, I feel for people, who built their entire account essentially on these max HP champions, right? And multiple people have upgraded multiple Coldhearts, multiple Royal Guards, Armigers, teams of 4 Armigers, man. So it's gonna hurt those people, and I feel for that. But it is a very interesting point that you make that overall, it's actually going to decrease the divide between, whales who can auto farm 1 million battles a day to people who don't have 3 Coldhearts built or 2 Coldhearts or whatever. So I like that take. I just think that maybe And who knows? Maybe I'm wrong here. Maybe time will prove me wrong because see, Royal Guard, like, you know, he's a beast, right? 1.7 mil.
Yeah.
Maybe 10% was a bit extreme, you know, because I don't know. Do you think these champions will even be used anymore? That's like the question, you know, like whether or not it's good for the game. Do you think they'll even be used?
So that's a really good question, and that's going to depend on what the gear drops are like. So what the incentive is going to be for stage 25. I mean, if they made this change to all of the dungeons, I think that was a huge mistake. Stage 20 being the same, why not just keep farming stage 20? If it's a huge deal to the player and the rewards, yes, they're a little bit better, but if you don't want to sacrifice making new champions, making new teams, then I don't think it's going to be a terrible idea to continue farming stage 20. I mean, there's no 7-star. Plarium?
No.
Please, if you're watching, no 7-star gear. Please.
But here's the thing, right? And that is a you know, you opened up a can of worms, and I'm happy to dive into it too, because I think it's an interesting point here. When they added Nightmare Campaign, no one farms Nightmare Campaign. It's too difficult in terms of the optimization, time, energy, etc. So do you think that there's like a scenario here where it's still better to just farm Spider in, you know, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, a minute, whatever your time is, whatever your best time is, if once you're able to get there? I know a lot of viewers are just like, dude, I can't even get to Spider 20 yet. But do you think it's better just to go with those enemy max HP champions, or will that be their niche to speed farm? You know, if you want to get silver, Spider 20, that's the best place to get it. My gut says that might be the case, you know?
I think so, and this is something I just thought of, and what a thought this just was. Clan versus clan, wanting to make it more competitive, more points for the higher stage dungeons you do. How are all of these things going to relate to each other? Are clans that want to be competitive going to have to farm higher levels? Despite, like we said, the Nightmare Campaign. I farm Nightmare Campaign for clan versus clan. I think I've done between our first battles we've had, I've already put over 3 million clan versus clan points because I've just been farming a ton and really optimizing the amount of points I can get.
Whoa. Pause. Tell me your ways, man. Because I was just like, you know, wasting my books and you know, forging artifacts. So wait a second, you farm Nightmare Campaign?
Yeah, so the amount of points you get from increasing the level of champions is huge.
Yeah.
And if you think about it, the free champions, well, not free, but the champions that drop from campaign are free books. Mm-hmm. And it's not like, I know people are opening mystery shards.
Did a lot of those like, too, yeah.
Yeah, and they're stacking up all of the duplicates, and that can take forever. But if you're farming campaign, you get the same champions over and over again. So I said, okay, I can farm the Nightmare Campaign quickly, like a little bit slower than normal, I think 11 seconds or something. So why not use food there, feed the food after, I don't know, maybe 1 or 2 runs, and then as I'm doing that, I start gaining those champions and start feeding them to each other. So
that's an interesting strategy. So you think that this could really be applicable to clan tournaments, you know, to make them a little bit more interesting, at least the new levels?
I do. I think if they are smart, and I hope they approach this the right way, if they make the points worth it for stage 25, they could be moving to, I mean, we could be seeing a new era of Plarium as far as competitiveness goes. A lot of people were disappointed that clan versus clan is a spending war. Obviously, it's a spending war. I mean, most people knew that going into it because it's not real clan versus clan. But if this can add that competitive edge to it, where stage 25 Dungeons of Heart, you do get the reward of a higher drop chance that we don't know about currently for the gear quality. But if it's something that's going to give a significant amount of clan versus clan points, now everyone needs to be competitive with it. You can't just say, I mean, for the whales specifically, you can't just say, okay, you know what, I'm just going to farm this dungeon, stage 20, in 7 seconds like Spider. Well, what if Spider's worth, I don't know, kind of like the difference between Faction Wars, stage 20 and stage 21. 500 points for stage 20 Faction Wars, 2,000 for stage 21.
Yeah.
Massive, and it is capped. So that is a point also. But if they can make that relationship between stage 20 and stage 25, I think this is going to add an additional competitive factor to clan versus clan.
Yeah, and we need all the competitive factors we can get there. And we actually do have some stats here as well about you actually put this together, so credit to you. But it seems like the difference between a level 20 boss and the level 25 boss, and correct me if I'm wrong, is 1.87% extra HP total. So almost double the HP.
Yeah. So if everything stays like it's currently stage 1 through stage 20, if that rate of increase stays the same all the way to 25, stage 20 bosses are going to be 1.8 times lower health overall than these stage 25. So that's a lot of health.
Yeah,
no matter how you look at it.
Yeah,
I mean, we're one-shotting it now in our gear, so it looks like a joke, but now they're getting rid of the champions we're using to one-shot. So
no
what is this going to...
There's double HP. There's no turn meter. And we're going to talk about champions that we think that might be, more meta with all these changes. But, to me, then, the question just comes back to, if there's not going to be 7-star artifacts, then what is the incentivization? Is it just Gland versus Gland tournaments? Is it because, they'd have to guarantee every piece of gear to be almost a 6-star, like a 90-something% chance or whatever, to be a 6-star in my mind, or to have a higher rarity drop or something,
Knowing Plarium, I really don't think they're going to get rid of 5 stars. I could be wrong. Be wrong. If they get rid of 5 stars, it would be a great step forward. But I would love to see 6-star gear only, rare, higher chance for legendary, of course. And I mean, that's my hope personally for stage 25.
My hope is, man, I'm getting super greedy. Like, I think the chances of this happening are like 10%. But my hope is that it drops a ton of silver or like legendary books or something. Like, if it's hard enough, I don't know if it's going to be difficult enough. But like, when I say legendary books, I mean like, a 1% chance or something, like a very small chance. But like, maybe this is the conduit to get us access to those, the rare things in this game. There's no way to farm. There's no way to farm these things.
No, by Consuela. Product formerly known as Lemon Pledge.
Ash, my friend, I think we're playing 2 different games. I think we were playing 2 different games.
Come on, man.
You gave me an idea, though. You gave me an idea.
Okay.
What if, hear me out, what if it starts dropping multiple pieces of gear per run? Instead of increasing the rarity, what if they kept it? I mean, hopefully they don't do this because maybe this is not a good idea, but what if they kept it the same as stage 20? Maybe a little bit, slightly higher increased chance. But now you have a chance of you could always get 2 pieces and have a chance of getting up to 5 pieces per run.
That's an idea too. I mean, something to incentivize us to do it. It sounds like the energy cost is not going to be that much higher, right? I think only like a 4 or 6 increase.
Yeah, I believe it's 20 energy per, if I remember correctly from the video.
It's not too bad.
It's really not, which is why I'm hoping it's not like we were talking about, that difference between brutal campaign and nightmare. Players need a reason to do it. Clan versus clan, there's hope, but that's not going to apply to the entire player base. If they add something like, I was talking about additional gear drops, I think they could be going in the right direction, especially with this new Frenzy event. If they have a Frenzy for speed gear on a stage 25 dragon, hey, sign me up. Sign me up.
Yeah, no, 100%. Okay, so this is actually, so they could do this in a really compelling, awesome way, but I guess, that will remain to be seen, hopefully in the next, few days or a week or whatever. So talk to me about champions, right? So first off, are you doing anything to prepare for this, or you're just going to wait and see at this point? I mean, there's not much to do, right?
My preparation is doing a collab with Ash on YouTube. This is the extent. So
I think this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
I mean, people have been asking me in Discord, hey, what's your opinion on this? And I said, you know what? What a perfect collab video. I haven't said anything since this news came out.
Video. Boom, I like that.
Yeah, waiting for it. So
okay, so we're just going to wait and see, but in terms of...
there are champions that have piqued my interest. I mean, like I said, I'm not personally a fan of this enemy max health meta. In my opinion, it kills the game. Yes, I know there are people who are invested in it, and it's not ideal for them, but to have to use these champions to get the most out of your runs, I'm not a fan of.
Because it boxes out other champions, right? Like there's 500 and something champions. It really sucks. This is the way they had to do it, though, because we've already invested in these champions. You know what I'm saying? Like
exactly.
But but I get your overall point, though.
Better late than never, but it's hard to say when you're talking to someone who doesn't spend a lot of money, or they're free to play and they've invested in Royal Guard. Septimus being a legendary, he's great in clan boss. That is one thing that he has that Coldheart kind of has with budget unkillable teams, but Septimus can be useful there. So not a complete waste, but Royal Guard, that he's an epic. So to use epic books, it's hard for those players.
Okay, so let's talk about new champions that, or not new, but like talk about champions that you like overall right now. Like actually just give me, in a vacuum, non-enemy max HP champions. Don't have to specifically, cater it to Spider or Dragon or Ice Golem or Fire Knight. But like, what are some champions that you have your eye on right now that you're just a big fan of? And this is a super wipe right now. I don't know what happened. But yeah, go. Who do you like?
Okay, so first champion, Krutroxa.
Okay.
Krutroxa is going to be the first champion. I think she's going to be very vital in the new Fire Knight. She hits very hard. She has multiple hitters. I think we're going to see a major shift to a raw damage meta, which there hasn't really been in this game. Some people said, and myself included, I said the Doom Tower, we could see this. This was the first time they nerfed enemy max health, the Doom Tower. I said we might be seeing a raw damage meta. That wasn't the case because for the Nether Spider, you need cleansers, revivers, the list goes on. So some people are spending 10 minutes in there. I don't think that's going to be the case for these Stage 25 dungeons. I think we're really going to see some of like the personal player's favorite used champion. I mean, you can make almost any champion do a ton of damage if you have the gear for it. So this can be an incentive for players to not have to go with what's meta. They can go with what they enjoy, what looks good for them. Turvold that you have on the screen, like one of the most iconic Turvold Murder Inc. Like those two just go together. I wanted him forever and I got him. I used him everywhere. He's an awesome champion, does a ton of damage. You can start using someone like this for these new dungeons to really whittle down that boss's health and make sure you have another supporting champion on top of it. Saito, like you have right there, another awesome champion that people kind of overlook. And then defense-based damage-dealing champions like Ultin. So I don't know how you're guessing, but
I'm going through the hard-hitting A1s of legendaries in the futures.
So counterattack, ally attack, defense-based champions, HP-based champions like Samar Gem Cursed, Mortu Macabre. I mean, there are so many options.
So these are some champions that we don't talk about every day. Granted, we're focusing mainly on legendary right now, but there's plenty of epic options as well.
Oh yeah, Knight Errant, one of the hardest poster child champions.
It was your channel that I was like, whoa! Like I forgot what you were hitting with that ability. Was it Death Warrant or something? I forgot what you were hitting with that, but it was insane. And
so, like, champions like that. I mean, Whisper, another fantastic champion. So we could be seeing an RNG meta of hard-hitting champions, which would be very interesting. I've made clan boss teams of 5 champions all in Relentless gear, and it's so much fun to watch. If I can replicate that for Stage 25s, I'm going to have a good time.
A shift that I love in Doom Tower right now is all the ally attack. You know, how meta that is right now. I love it because it's something different. It's not counterattack, which I feel has, always been a thing on those 3 champions in the game. They said they're not going to add any more counterattack, but it does seem like ally attack is the direction they're very comfortable going in. They've added a lot of new champions, Fokker and the Fat more recently, and a bunch others too. So,
I mean, even rares have Hyria.
Yeah, that's true. There's a few. There's Catacomb Counselor. Oh, not rare, but epic. There's the Lady Atessa as well. There's a few options out there. So do you think that could be meta for these new bosses as well, especially like Fire Knight as well?
I mean, Fire Knight, absolutely. I mean, if you don't have a multi-hitter, what better way to cater your team to a multi-hitting team than having an ally attack? This will go to speed tuning it, making sure they always have it available. You really don't want not 100% win rate. So it's going to be some investment. I mean, as it should be. This game should not release content, have us be able to clear it in 5 seconds as soon as it released. And that's what nerfing these enemy max health does. No one's going to be clearing this in 10 seconds on the first day it comes out, which I do really like. It gives us purpose in the game again. Endgame has really been, there's really nothing for endgame right now. We have Platinum Arena for 15 minutes once a week. That's the competitive end game. That's all we have. So now with this, we can use our favorite champions. We can theory craft. It opens up a whole new world, and it's not just Gerptuk, Battle Khazar, Coldheart. It gets rid of that. I have to keep saying this because I know there are people saying, listen, Murder, sit down, stop talking. Just invested my life savings.
Yeah. No, I think that, I think it's a point well taken. I think most of my subscribers will understand too, because it's tough because it's emotional because, even on my free to play, I just pulled Coldheart and I'm just like, no, I just 6-starter and on a free to play, man, let me tell you, dude, that takes a lot of time. So
But
really,
that fact that you can use her at 20 should be like, okay, you know what? Not all is grim.
Yeah.
I can use her to this point, and look how far all of the endgame players have gotten with stage 20 alone. I think that's a really big point that people don't understand. Look how far we've all gotten. We're clearing all content in seconds right now with stage 20 dungeons. So if you can't do stage 25, and you have to use those champions to keep farming stage 20, what is the real difference going to be? Will it take longer? Yes, but you'll be able to farm it quicker, probably.
And at the end of the day, too, this is something I talk about a lot on my channel, but at the end of the day, it's not about how fast you farm, ultimately, right? Because 99.9% of the player base, more than that, probably. There's only a handful of players who are out there, maybe in your clan, I don't know, bro, but but out there auto-clicking all the time, right? For the most part, people just set their phone or whatever overnight, and they use their 30 or 100 battles and that's it. And when they wake up, it's done, or through the workday or whatever. So
and that's a good point for the time as well.
Yeah.
Who cares if it's 7 seconds or 3 minutes? If you get better rewards and the energy makes sense for stage 25, does it really matter?
It does. Yeah.
Yeah.
So who knows? I guess that could be the mitigating factor here. So 2 last kind of topics before we go. Number 1 is turn meter, right? So champions like, Man-Eater, Lysandra, Allure, who I have on the screen right now, all these popular turn meter champions, again, we're kind of hypothesizing here that it's going to be a 50% reduction on turn meter. So 50% reduction on basically all the 25%, turn meters hits on Allure. Do you think that champions like Allure and the ones I mentioned are in Coldheart as well, obviously, do you think they're still going to be viable?
That's
the $1 million. That's a tough question, right?
That is the $1 million question for a few reasons. I mean, if you look at Fire Knight stage 20, it's going to be Spirit, which is a big change because now we have Allure as strong affinity against the Spirit boss, and she was weak when it was Force.
Yeah.
So now she can get weak hit. So she's much tankier than she had to be before. And if you click on that A1 again, it said, I believe, 25%. So 50% of that, 12.5, 3 times to reduce the turn meter by 12.5%. So is that going to be enough for your team to cycle? You might need, I hope this isn't the case, but you might need 2 allures to really make this 100%. Maybe it can be speed tuned because we're looking at just over 30% here.
Yeah.
Can you work with 30% assuming that they all land? I'm not sure.
I hate to say it, but I'm thinking kind of not, maybe, but it's kind of like what you said in the beginning of the video. Can you find me a way for these enemy max HP champions to go 10 times on a team before the spider goes? It's not exactly the same with Allure, obviously, in turn meter, but it just kind of feels like, now we're kind of getting into the square peg, round hole scenario where it's just like, is there another champion who's just a better fit at the end of the day rather than trying?
Yeah.
I don't know, but here's the affinities. If you guys want to screenshot any of the viewers right now who don't know the new affinities of all the bosses, but Ice Golem is going to be magic, Spider Dragon is going to be magic on 25, Dragon Slayer is going to be force, Fire Knight's going to be spirit. So it definitely throws a monkey wrench into the affinities as well. I don't know. I mean, even the void rebalancing didn't seem like any of those void epics are going to be like game changers to me. Did you take a look at them all, or?
I haven't actually looked at it yet.
Okay.
But it's on the to-do list.
Nothing really to write home about, in my opinion. I mean, but Solus, Visix, and Whirlum Frostking, I think are all going to be really solid now.
That's good.
They're giving Solus a 10 speed boost. I don't think they've ever done that. Maybe they have, but I don't recall.
No, I don't think so. I mean, he needed it, wasn't it?
Yeah, 87, I think, or something like that. I don't know. Yeah.
Hey, Solus hits so hard. If they
They're giving him a big defense boost too. I think like his new defense is going to be around a 14 or 1500 range, but they are going to reduce his multipliers a little bit.
I was just going to say,
yeah.
Plarium, please. I know people have been saying buff Solus. If they didn't nerf that multiplier, he would have been like Trunda. He hits so hard right now. It's unbelievable.
Wordlim, though, they're making this Ice Grave into a 3-turn on
they should have done that release. I'm glad they finally
They're
got
also
that
adding
together.
a decreased accuracy that can't be resisted to the frostbite. So I think that he's going to be like really solid now, personally.
Oh, that is interesting.
Yeah, they're doing other stuff to the A1 as well. They're adding like another veil or something. But anyway, enough about that stuff. So yeah man. I mean, so turn meter is kind of up in the air right now, but you know
it is. I mean, you have to consider Lissandra though, 100% turn meter depletion. That going to 50%, I think it's much easier to live with 50%. And now this is something that's a little bit complex, and I didn't do the math on this. I have someone who does that, who literally has a degree and is a mathematician, but there's a difference between a fully depleted turn meter and reducing a turn meter by 100%. And a lot of people don't know that. Turn meter goes up to like the number 1,300 or 400 or something, like as far as ticks go, and when you see it increase. So you can overfill basically the turn meter visually. You can overfill it.
Okay.
So if you have a lure depleting the turn meter on a boss, it can literally not move depending on how much it's overfilled. And some people might have noticed this. I mean, I've seen it in the game already, where you can use abilities that decrease the turn meter, and the boss, champion, whatever's in front of you, their turn meter stays full. They didn't get resisted. They did have it reduced,
so they had
but it
excess.
was just overfilled. And you can't see that. They don't show that visibly. So
I've never noticed that.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure if we're going into a new meta of true depletion turn meter, making it always half the value of what they currently have, which is going to be better than 50%. If there's a 100% turn meter depletion and it only goes to 50%, it could not be as good. And then you could struggle. But like Allure, I think if you want to make it work, you need ally attack plus Allure to be on the safe side, or like Relentless Gear, hope you get lucky. But like I said, for a dungeon like this, you want 100% win rate.
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
Okay. So you think champions like Man Eater and I don't know, I'm trying to think of like 100% turn meter, Lysandra, I don't know, Grohawk, Razin. You think the champions that have 100% turn meter will be, and Coldheart obviously, those champions will be like semi-viable?
I think Coldheart might be the best bet, to be honest. A 4-hit on the A1, her damage is capped.
True.
So she's not going to be a damage dealer. I mean, she is a damage dealer, but
essentially a 50% turn meter reduction, deals a decent amount of damage.
Yeah,
I mean, 10% of double the HP of the Fire Knight now, as we know it, is still significant, you know?
It is. And now consider this. A tanky support-based Coldheart. Words I thought I'd never say in my 2 years of Raid
You don't
Shadow
need crit
Legends,
damage
but
anymore, man, you know?
yeah. As long as you can hit that 10% threshold, you can build Coldheart wherever you want. Relentless Gear, accuracy if you really want to get the value out of her A2 for poisons. So now you have all of these options. And this is what I'm saying, where
that's true.
It's easy to complain, right? But complaining isn't going to make them change it. We've learned already. We know Plarium, we know how they do it.
Losing his mind, and I'm reaping all the benefits.
So the best thing is, how can we make this better? How can we work with what we have? And how can we make this fun?
That's true. Like a Relentless Coldheart seems really cool. Like even, I don't know if it will work with 3 active skills, but with like even Reflex or something like that, if you can optimize, getting that turn meter down, who knows? You know, it could be interesting at least, but I don't
Absolutely.
know. We'll see, man. Well, listen, I think we can wrap it up there. We've given a lot of opinions here and a lot of, I guess, insight as to what these dungeons might look like, what they ought to look like, and given some champions to perhaps keep an eye out for as well. Murder, thanks so much for coming on, man, and lending your expertise on Raid Shadow Legends. You guys should subscribe to Murder Inc. right now. What better time to do so right now? All of his channel information, social media, Twitch, everything will be in the show notes below. Murder, any final thoughts or words before we let you go, man?
Thank you for inviting me to this collab. Like I said, this is the first one I've said yes to in my entire career of doing YouTube. And I'm
Honor,
glad it was
man.
with
Thank
you. Yeah, so had a lot of fun here. Thanks for watching, guys. Ash is great. We all know that. That's why you're here watching. And let's do this again.
Let's do it again, man. Guys, thank you so much for watching all the way till the end. Appreciate you guys. And as always, take care, guys.